Welcome back to another week of the Wise Guys Barbecue, your station to tune in to two guys that love to talk about brisket. I'm Vin, and my man here, the Baron of Brisket, Charlie Baldwin. Why are you laughing already?
Well, we do like talking about meat. We do.
It's the best job in the world. I'm sorry, it is. I'm not going to argue. I can't, there was a time where I used to wake up in the morning and said, here's what I figured out. I don't like people. I am a people person, but I don't like them in general. The way they talk, the way they smell. And because of that, I used to wake up in the mornings because I used to go to work with a large crew of people, and I didn't like it. Now, I got me, I got our audience, I got beef. Come on, man. How can it get any better?
It really can't. And, when he says he doesn't like any people, it's any people that don't subscribe to our channel and watch our podcast. If you just like our podcast and give us a quick follow, you can be liked too.
Yeah, that's a great point. Smash that bell, smash that subscribe button, get it going. We need people. I think we got a pathetic 81 subscribers.
We love you, 81 guys.
Yeah, you guys are
backbone.
Awesome. Hey, they watch too because our views are up. That's cool.
I get a lot of feedback.
So we're gonna get we're figuring it out. We're clearing the path. We're getting there. But anyways, welcome back, Charlie and I. Today we're picking up on some stuff. We've been following up on. Honestly, it started with the vacío.
We've kind of gone south of the border, and some interesting South American stuff we've run into.
Well, that's just it. Interesting, right? Mm-hmm. Out of the norm, off the beaten trail. And today we were catching our eye on some picanha.
Picanha, yeah, delicious. And that's something if you're not familiar with picanha, but if you've got a Brazilian steakhouse anywhere near your house and you've gone there they bring the skewers out with the meat. Picanha is one of the main things that they bring out on the skewer for you to.
Come on, guys. Swords and beef. It's a double header. Right there. Yeah. Creature double feature right there. Godzilla and Triceratops. What was the other? Was it Triceratops?
You're mixing made up monsters and real dinosaurs. I don't know where you're going with this.
Nobody
Triceratops is an actual scientific discovery. Godzilla, not so much, but we'll get you there, big guy.
All right, good. So picanha, interesting enough, that came out of Brazil and made its way into Argentina, is for the rump, and I'll put a picture up, the rump, the actual right behind the tail, the rump of the cow. And, they used to hit that with a cattle prod, and
those electrical shock.
Yeah. They get them move along, right? Get along, little doggy. Those things in Spanish, picanha means cattle prod. So they call that area of the beef picanha because that's what it was hitting, and they think by the time it got over to Argentina, it turned into picanha, and it got a little bit crazier. There was a famous person in an area who wanted a sirloin steak, and this is back in the 1700s, and they asked for a sirloin steak, and they didn't have any, so they cooked him a piece of this rump roast, and it was amazing. And he was like, "What is this?" And it ended up being his meat of choice after that.
Yeah, he said it was better. It was better than the sirloin they usually got.
I think, and like anything else, it's all in the cook, right? Because what I did learn a little bit about the meat, it's a heavy grain in the meat. So you have to make sure the way you're cutting your final piece for serving, you're cutting against the grain, because if you don't, you're not chewing this puppy. This thing's not going down. You got to make sure you're against the grain. So it could be all different, right? Because if you're going to put it on a skewer and put it on the fire, you have to cut it so that you're cutting with the grain to get on the skewer. So when you cut it off the skewer, it's against the grain, and now you can eat it. So thin and against the grain is a must with this steak, or you're not chewing it. But it looks delicious. And then one of the cooks that we saw making it, actually, they cooked it on a Santa Maria grill. So they did it three ways. They did steaks hot and fast. They did more like a 2-inch cut in a horseshoe on a skewer. different
Yeah.
grain cut, and
Yep.
then they did the actual whole picanha, and they cut it after. But they went about an hour and a half on the fat side and about another 20 minutes on the non-fat side, and it was more like a roast. It looked delicious. But again, when you're cutting that roast, you can't cut off somebody like 3/4 of an inch and have them. And it's just not going to be soft and chewy and juicy. I mean, it is going to be chewy, unfortunately. No matter how rare, how well you cook it, it's just not going to be the texture you want because of that area of the beast. So anyway, thought it was really interesting. And of course, because of where it is on the cow, it's cheaper than other cuts, right? Of course, cheaper than filet mignon or
Absolutely. You save
ribeye.
some money on those cuts in there. I mean, when you do them right, and we're talking about, just salt and pepper essentially for the rub, a coarse salt, and the way you cook, like Vin was talking about, the way they had this setup was he had at one end of his what do you call it? His Santa Maria grill. He had one end that was like a medium high temperature, one was a medium low, and in the middle was a low and slow, and that's what he did the skewers on. He had the skewers in the middle, and then a big steak over here, and then the little steaks. Yeah, it was just fascinating.
Yeah, the Cinderella temp was in the middle, and that was the skewer, and that was his showpiece. But yeah, no, it was it looked fantastic, and a lot goes into that salting process. I mean, a lot of true Texas style, right? Salt and pepper. That's it, baby. You're getting it's all in the cook.
Yeah.
But that salt in the application, the amount, and the timing of adding it means a lot because there's enzymes in the proteins of the steak that break down, and depending on how much you want to brine your steak, right? So basically, and we learned this from the butcher. Tommy, hope you're having a great time on that trip. Actually might be back by now, but you're brining it. You're taking the moisture out, but you're not only taking the moisture out. People are like, oh, you're taking the moisture out. That's going to be a dry steak. You're basically breaking down the enzymes in the protein and creating it to hold the moisture that's in there. You will lose some moisture. The steak will shrink and actually be lighter. But in the end, you get a juicier steak because the enzymes now that are binding to the moisture that's left in that steak is just fantastic. So salt's important. And it's not just, the amount you put, but how long you keep it on. And the type of salt you use, right? It can't be anything chemical. It can't be any, it's got to be a true rock salt. It's got to be a good size as well because you want some of it to stick, but you want a lot of it to pop off after it's done the drying process. So, it's salt and pepper. That's it. But there is a science to it. And that looked great. Actually, I know about this because I got turned on a little bit from our celebrity staffer there, Yasmin Morales, and she has a whole thing on the actual YouTube star that's Argentinian and cooking these amazing stuff. I can't wait to see and hear more about that. She sends me these little teasers, and boy, do they work. So there you go. But
there's something else with that. I remember you talking about the naming of the meat, the picanha from the cattle prod, but a lot of the cooks down there think that the actual cattle prodding with the electricity tenderizes that area of the cow.
Maybe.
And they say it comes out really nice because they take too many shots of electricity to the rear end that it actually tenderizes the meat back there.
Better than hitting it with a mallet.
If that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but so I hear.
But that is interesting for sure. So, but I had to jump into that because that was on my mind from the Vacío article. But more importantly, we want to congratulate El Jefe Smoke.
Excellent.
From Massachusetts, I believe. I know they're. I don't think New Hampshire. I think it's Massachusetts. But El Jefe, as well as a few other New England competitor barbecue cooks, went down to the Jack Daniel's barbecue competition over the weekend. In the last, hey, what do you got going on? You rocking over there?
Sorry.
And they came 15th overall. Okay, so amazing, simply amazing.
In the
okay?
Jack.
In the Jack, right? Global competition they're up against, and they come in 15 overall. They nailed it. They did well. So congratulations to those guys. Love to get you on the show. Hopefully that'll happen sooner than later. I know you're probably super busy, and I'm assuming you got the party hats off by now. I know maybe not. I know I wouldn't. I don't think I'd be still walking upright after winning that for about a good month. But hopefully you guys get back on the circuit soon. We can get you either in studio or on virtual. Have a little powwow. We'd love to do that. We're good friends with El Jefe. They worked with one of our feature writers on a super article that came out of Cork Here's fundraiser, and they're just two dynamic guys that love the full culture of the barbecue world and support it in so many different ways, and now kicking some butt in their cooking opportunities.
Yeah, I got some actual stats from the Jack that they put on their site. They finished 15th overall, which is really impressive. They got a perfect score in pork ribs. 180. Unfortunately, 12 other teams I think got perfect scores too. So it came down to a really, really tight decision for the judges.
Wow.
They also got a 14th place in dessert and 21st place in the chef's choice category. So they really had a successful overall weekend. Just fantastic to hear them doing well.
Yeah, and it's cute because their dessert directors are their kids, the girls. So they're the ones that I think did the creations for that team. They're part of that team, and yeah, they did awesome. So that was great.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the Jack Daniel's Open Barbecue Championships is a huge event. I mean, just takes over that part of the state for the whole event. And
Lynchburg, right?
Yeah, which is just a tiny town. I was actually wanted to go down there for the Jack, and then our schedules didn't match up. But I was just looking for a place to stay. I mean, I couldn't get us within 50, 60 miles of the place.
Well, I didn't know
it's just
that.
a huge, a lot of people come there and camp out and that type of thing, which you and I are a little more civilized. We prefer our, the honeymoon suite at the local motels.
Well, tell the truth, we can't get off the ground. If we go in a sleeping bag, we're not coming out.
This is also true.
We're not coming out. They're putting a shovel to that sleeping bag.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I know, our other good friend, Johnny Z, is a Tennessee Squire for Jack Daniels. And
so are we, aren't we?
We are now.
Yeah,
thanks to Johnny.
We got made.
Yeah. And they had no choice, otherwise we would have to make them.
This is true.
Anyways, he was on the rope. His wife's birthday was like in the same week, so he had something special planned for her, so he couldn't pull it off. But if it wasn't for that, for sure he would have been there, and that would have been cool because we'd have got some really good reporting from him. He's our basically reporter on the spot, like our Les Nessman.
Yeah, we're getting some contributors here lately. I told you my friend was down in Houston. My friend Tony was down in Houston for a business conference.
Yes,
and gave me a shout back and said that he was heading out to a place called Pinkerton's Barbecue, Pit Barbecue in Houston. They also have a place in San Antonio. Really? But just he came back with a nice report. We're going to put together an article and have it in Rhode Island Barbecue News.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But we're starting to get people just calling in and hey, I'm down here and wherever, and
I know
a great
that's
restaurant.
That's our third one now of folks that are just, hey, I don't want to get paid. I don't want to be a writer full time. I don't need a bio on the page. I just really like what you're doing. I really love barbecue. I'd like to contribute. Can I do this?
Of course.
And we're never going to say no. So, please fill out the bottom there. If you guys get any ideas you want to pass your way to our news affiliates. No, that's not a word. Affiliates.
Yep.
Our news affiliates. We'll get you hooked up with them and figure something out. That'd be cool. 85. I think it was a total of 85 competitors in that Jack Daniel.
Yeah. So if you finish 15, I mean, you're doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But kicking the shit out of 70 people.
Yeah. Satisfying. Satisfying.
Good. Well, Hefe Smoke, congratulations. Hope to get you in the chair over here. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Sorry for the purple. I didn't switch over from the other studio that we're in, so we got some purple going on today.
I like it.
I like purple.
I like
It brings up
Reminds
the
me
color
of,
in my eye.
Cookie Monster coming. I like it.
Yeah, he was on with something. I was watching a meme, the Grimace. What's going on with the Grimace? Is he in a movie or something?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
He was on.
I do know what you're talking about, but I don't know enough to speak on it.
All right, so it was a sports show, and something was going on with a team, and their nickname or their mascot is Grimace, no doubt. And because they had these idiots doing the Grimace
Something
voice.
like that. And I do remember seeing something like that, but I just can't.
All right, so we got to get right after El Jefe Smoke, we're getting Grimace on this show.
That will not to be missed.
For sure.
All right, we're back. I just want to give a quick shout out to some friends of the show. Baldwin Arts 401. You can find them everywhere on social media. Baldwin Arts 401. Your place for custom pictures or paintings. I know he did a nice one for Luke for his football, and came out fantastic. But you can find him online. He's got all kinds of different art, and he does commissioned pieces. The other one I want to shout out to is Gary's Sandwich Shack, who up on 9 Cedar Swamp Road in Smithfield does a fantastic sandwich. It's a lunch joint. So get your orders in, and he has some really unusual and tremendous things like the chopped Italian grinder and the meatball cone. You need to see that one in person. So that's all. Just giving a quick shout out to some friends of the show.
Nice. Yeah, I know. And I know a couple of weeks ago we talked a little bit about the next safari, the barbecue safari. And the reason why was when Tommy was on, we wanted to present to our listeners an opportunity that right after they push subscribe, they could kind of write in maybe some states or areas you'd like to look at. And honestly, probably pick a state that you don't like, because the last 2 states we went to just got ravaged by those storms. So it seems like we get in and out just in time, both South Carolina and North Carolina. So sorry for those folks. You're in our thoughts. You're in our prayers. But
yeah, I mean, I just can't get over that. Like, I know some of those places got crushed. I don't even want to think about it. But some of those places we went to were small wood buildings, and I just have an awful feeling. I don't even want to go up and look up their sites and stuff like that, because I'm going to be heartbroken that they've been hurt really bad. But
look at when we were in North Carolina, South Carolina, we went through. And we
the Swig and Swine. Yeah.
Now that wasn't a beat up brown box. That was a beautiful, brandly new constructed restaurant. Yeah, we just happened to be on the waterways over there, and Debbie came through and just flooded it with about 2 feet of water, and they had to clean out from that. And they did a really good job, quick too. They got back. That staff is just amazing how they're all kind of intertwined.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
Got things done over there for Anthony. Yeah. But more and more of that. So it's kind of scary. I mean, we put together these safaris, and we just do logistic sense and what we can get done in a certain amount of time or a time of year. And we just picked those 2 spots, and lucky we did.
And the right time of year too. I mean, just barely.
Yeah, exactly.
On the second one, just barely. It was funny because I was going through clean up my pictures in my phone and all that stuff, and I got to our safari pictures, and some good desserts on that safari. Some really good stuff. And the first I'm going to jump on is that strawberry pie at Bridges.
Yeah,
they was amazing.
They crushed it. That thing was amazing. And it's sad to say that you go in while we're doing our job, eating brisket and eating pork and barbecue. Yes. You get to the dessert and you want something a little different because you had a lot of the same, and you just can't, right? Because you're full, you're stuffed, or you're going someplace else to eat. You're like, I can't eat a dessert now, but you want to. And we did at a couple places. We definitely did. I think it was North Carolina, the something pig, spotted pig. We had, kind of think of it, it's going to come to me. But we got a dessert and we split it 3 ways when Tommy was there just because it was our last place and we had to have something sweet before we took the bourbon down. And anyways, it was good. It was. You're right. It's just amazing. It's a nice little treat.
Yeah, after all that salt and savoriness and deliciousness, you have something sweet at the end. Really good. And a couple of places, banana pudding seems to be like a popular thing on menus.
Yeah, I got yelled at again. Just go ahead, finish that story, and I'll tell you why I got yelled at.
Banana pudding, fantastic. And then every place seems to have something a little different, either a different custard or some kind of Jello or some kind of special pie. And you want to take a good hard look at that menu and save yourself a little bit for the end. We didn't save ourselves at all. We just rammed it down in there like
we just said,
men.
You need to go.
I think
because it was at Shorty's that I got.
Shorty's, yeah.
I just saw somebody come in and order a ice cream sundae, and I'm a sucker for ice cream. So I was like, "Yep, I'll have one of those." So we had that there. So we got a fair share. We had banana pudding at in South Carolina. We went to the big boxer there. What was his name? Not Shorty's, but something like that.
You're killing me because I can see the guy and his son.
Yes, but it'll come to me in a minute.
They had a great banana pudding, yes.
They had a great banana pudding.
Catfish. They had a great menu.
Oxtail.
Yeah. They had a fantastic menu. And it's just a small little, 12 table, 13 table place in a shopping mall. And they've got a little banquet room next door. It's not a big, huge place at all, but the food, yikes.
Yes, and
is that Big T's?
Big T's.
Big T's. I don't know how I forgot that one. Big T and Little T.
Yep. That was amazing. And we went. So I think it was banana pudding again, but I'm looking because I got ridiculed in the comments. Hindsight Barbecue. Mark Fuller, we met over there, and Mark gave us a great tour of the place and fed me like a king, me and my wife. And I didn't even think about desserts because we had lunch and beer, and then Mark talked us into taking home some barbecue for dinner. So how the hell was I going to get into dessert? But somebody yelled and says, "Don't even tell me they don't know that we have banana pudding." And I'm like, okay, banana pudding coming back. That definitely going to be there now. So I feel I'm not trying to offend anybody by missing out on their quality desserts, which brings up we might as well come full confession here. What about the sides?
I have to admit, when I go and we've been to many barbecue places, I have to admit this right off the jump. I go right to the side menu because I want to see if there's anything, because everybody does cornbread, coleslaw, potato salad, baked beans, everybody does it. So I like to go right to that side and see if there's anything that jumps out as like being a little bit different, whether it's a jalapeno rice or
what was that? Pimento cheese.
The pimento cheese spread at Bridges is just, I mean, you can eat it with a spoon, but they give you crackers.
No, we did because they said we make a sandwich out of it.
And then we had the sandwich and the spread. Yeah, and the dip.
It was basically the dip spread.
Yeah.
And then of course
white bread.
The deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs is another huge one. So a couple of these places, that I'm not going to get into it, like the place I can't remember because I can't remember, but the place on the first safari, on Safari 1, where it was kind of like more of a modern place, he had some great deviled eggs with some kind of like barbecue rub mixed into the yolk and then in the egg and then bacon on top. Oh,
yes, that was the Pit. The authentic.
The Pit. Yes,
the Pit in. I don't remember the town. It was the first day of our
Charlotte
first
or
no, is that maybe
Raleigh?
Yep, it was in Raleigh.
Yep.
So that was fantastic. And then right after that, like if not the next stop, 2 stops later, we went to the Picnic.
Yep.
So Shirley.
Is that the girl's name, the waitress?
Shelly or Shelly? Shelly.
Shelly.
Shelly from Texas was at the picnic, and she was a sweetheart. And she gave us a fried oyster.
Yeah, excellent.
They had a great deviled egg too, but probably second best. But that fried oyster was just, because now, I mean, middle of the day, it was hot out. We sat outside because someone has a smoking problem. And during that time, we had
we didn't go with the usual plate there because we were kind of a little barbecued out. That was the end of the day. We kind of tried we tried a little bit of their barbecue, but we tried some other things too.
Well, that's exactly what you told her. You said,
yeah,
could we get some things that are different? If you have something different, a special.
Yes.
And she was a hero because she says, well, we have the traditional barbecue for all of our food, of course, but we make some unbelievable sides that are a little different. I'll bring you some.
Yep.
So that's where the deviled egg and the oyster came from.
And we tried their pulled pork and it was great. But it was, a pleasure getting something different like that.
Yeah. The sides are.
I'm a big fan of cornbread, number one. But if you're making your cornbread and you're putting like some real corn nuggets in there and a few jalapenos, I'll go for that every time too.
Yeah. One place got me nervous. It had raisins in it, and I wasn't sure if they were raisins.
Yeah.
We thought horse flies.
Yeah, rabbit pellets. I'm not sure about.
When in Vegas.
Yep. Stays in Vegas. What happens
when in Rome? How's it go? I don't know. One of those.
When in Rome. Do as the Romans do, I guess.
But the sides are fantastic. Can't get enough.
Huge.
Well, I'm a big Can I have a food baby already? We had a huge dinner, and I'm talking about food. I'm a big potato salad guy. Now, that's a problem in my house because I had a cousin who used to live with us. She loved mayonnaise. The blue. It reminds me of the Blue Plate special mayonnaise.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress. She would make a potato salad, right, with a bunch of chives and mayonnaise, right? And she would put a couple of boiled eggs in it. So it was yellow. And it was just fantastic. And my mother, traditional Italian potato salad, right? So it had the vinegar in it. It had garlic, onions, the scallions. And she would make it. It was so cool how it would come out because she would just get it to the perfect temperature that it was done, cooked, but still hard, right? And you almost ate it hot. You never made it like through the fridge. You would have it, she would cover it with a plate, put it on the table, let it cool and because it didn't have a mayonnaise or anything, it wouldn't go bad. So you could eat it whenever. And it was just a different taste. And I would sit there and I would just have piles of 2 potato salads with my 9 hot dogs in the middle. But I had a problem. So when we went on, everywhere we went, if they had potato salad, which just 90% of the restaurants did, I got some potato salad too because I had to try it.
Because you're an aficionado of potato salad.
Apparently I like it.
And you want to compare it. I'm like that with many things. Yeah. Eggs Benedict. If I go to a place, they got like Eggs Benedict, it ruins my whole breakfast experience because I have to try it and see how good it is. But are you a
snob? Because I'm a potato lover. It could be bad. I'm eating it all. But I've seen some people eat something that they crave or they do, like you say, they try everywhere. But if it's not good or it's not up to quality, they're like, push it away. I don't want that.
I am not.
Take this
I'm not
away.
an Eggs Benedict snob.
Cook.
But that being said, I do like it a certain way. And my biggest peeve is if you go someplace and you ask for the Eggs Benedict and they bring it out and it looks like 2 lost English muffins on this giant white plate and you just... fill that plate up. Use smaller plates. That's the tip of the day. Okay,
that's the tip of the day.
But yeah, I am a bit of a coleslaw guy. We ran into a ton of different styles of coleslaw down in Safari 1 and Safari 2.
Yeah,
and everybody, that we were surprised because one of the things we took away was the pride everyone took in their coleslaw.
Yeah,
they all had secret recipes and they all thought theirs was the best and.
And it was just controversial everywhere you went because some,
it sure was.
Well, it was Bridges again, where going to think of the guy's name, made it, and he didn't eat it. He didn't like it. He didn't want it. He didn't want to like it. He made it for his mom all the years when he was a kid, and now he makes it for himself. And follows the recipe to the T, exactly the same every time because he doesn't eat it. Now, of course, his sister, who works with him, eats it, tastes it, makes sure it's quality that they'll serve. But there'll be arguments with customers different times of the year, because he was explaining to us that depending on the season, the core of the cabbage will be a lot hotter, a lot tighter wrapped in the growing process. And when that happens and it gets chopped up and made into the coleslaw, it can be almost like someone added horseradish or
Spicier,
spicier. And he would get complaints like, why'd you make it so spicy? And he's like, I do not put one piece of heated spice in that ever, ever, ever. Just sometimes it tastes like it, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, so there's a lot of, like you said, the controversy about what they're doing, even though they're doing nothing different. So, and that's great to know, because you know you're getting such a fresh product that based on the seasonality of that product, you can get a different taste or taste profile. So I like coleslaw too. I make coleslaw and I have a specific way I like it to taste, which is another argument between me and my wife, because my wife doesn't like putting sugar in it, and you have to have sugar in it. We both like dill, so we put dill in it. And then it comes down to the salt, if we oversalt, undersalt. But now we have a way to balance it out all the way. And even a process of, because, when you put the salt, you sweat the cabbage. So the cabbage now gets real liquidy and less viscous, Tommy's word. So you want to actually renew it, right? We'll go in, pick the coleslaw out, drain out the water that had come out, see if it needed anything added because of what it lost, and then usually not. And then go back to it. And if it did, we'll add back some fresh cabbage and re-season it the next batch. So it's kind of cool, because you get like a layer of flavor in the process. And I mentioned before, and I'd love to know how he does it, but you go back to Rich over at Barbecue Ninja.
Excellent coleslaw.
Well, yeah, but it had his flavor profile.
Yep.
On it. So that's what made it amazing for me. It wasn't just coleslaw, here's coleslaw, try it. This is how I make it. I hope you like it.
He was very true to the spices
like,
he used with his meats and everything else. Yeah.
And it fell in with the same categories of the rest of his barbecue. So it was a whole presentation of what he was making. If he had sausage, pork, and some ribs on a plate with coleslaw, you had that same profile of flavor.
Everything
in every
fit.
different in every different on piece of food there. Of course, it tastes different because it was different food, but it still had that same soft and mellow up front, and then a little kick in the ass at the end with some spice, but nothing too hot that you couldn't take another bite, right?
It wasn't, you had something really spicy and then two things sweet, and then it was very consistent as to how he had it put together.
Right. I do that. Like when I eat steak, I like to have fresh horseradish on the steak, and when I do that, it gets a little difficult. Why? Because the next piece has horseradish, the next piece has horseradish. So after you have 2 or 3 bites of steak, your mouth's on fire. It's kind of my same problem I have when I have sushi. I put too much wasabi, right? Because I eat sushi completely wrong, right? You're supposed to, the ginger is never supposed to make it on the sushi. The ginger is supposed to be an interlude between the sushi types, is kind of like a palate cleanser.
Absolutely.
And then the wasabi is supposed to never make it on the sushi. It's supposed to go into the soy sauce, and you spice up the soy sauce. So when you dip, if you dip, because you're not supposed to dip either, because that sushi is supposed to be as the chef wants you to eat it. But if you're gonna go use the heat for an excuse, get into that soy sauce and eat it, and then cleanse your palate with ginger. Yeah,
and we're savages. We're going sushi, soy, wasabi, ginger in one big sandwich. Yeah.
Usually at 2 a.m.
Yeah, they throw us out of these places in Japan.
At a Texaco gas station. Oh, you're in Japan? I'm at the gas station.
Yeah, little gas station sushi.
2
Always a good
a.m.
choice.
Yep, I don't think so. But so good sides on the safari, and getting that going for you guys. It's not going to be until 25. Just too much great barbecue going on here locally in New England, with competitions and stories and interviews that we
Did we ever think we'd get too busy to go on safari?
No, I thought that was going to be the whole thing. That was
Right.
that was the thing.
That's crazy.
I didn't think podcasts would be like once a month. Really, I thought it was once a month podcast. We'll do these articles. We can do them from the road. We'll go on the road every 2 months. We'll do a. So when was it? When did we go to South Carolina? It was August. Remember we were saying how hot it was going to be? August.
It was
right?
August, first week of August.
Yeah. So we went May. We went August. So that was June, July, August. So that was 3 months. We missed by a month. Then August to now. All right. So what's that? I can't do the math. 5 more months.
Yeah.
We are well behind, and now we might not get there until first quarter of next year, and we got a lot of room to make up, guys. So we need to know where to go. So
we'll figure something out.
Put some states in the comments of these videos, and we'll get back to you. And then I don't know, maybe we'll have a little contest or something in the process.
That'd be cool.
Oh, and don't forget, November 16th and 17th, fight night over at your boys' gym.
The Fight Factory. Yes. We're on the Silver Gloves Championships at Fight Factory, which is 3 Bridle Avenue in West Warwick. And they're on Facebook under Fight Factory. You can get all the details, how to get tickets. It's not a great big venue, so if you do want to go, get your tickets early.
Yeah, if you have a problem with tickets, let us know too. Send Fredo at wiseguysbarbecue.com an email, and we'll get you hooked up with tickets. It's small. It's you got to first come, first serve, and that's why I remembered it, because we're giving away some of our T-shirts that night over there. So please get in there, get some T-shirts. I'd like to get you on a couple pictures too on the website with those T-shirts on. So that'll be cool. All right, folks, welcome back. Unfortunately, I have to say, Charlie did not come through with my jingle. So he said he was going to get some pregnant.
I did say that, and I
think it was pregnant.
Did
nuns,
not do it.
Pregnant nuns on roller skates. You're going to have
like
quartet.
They were busy.
I didn't do it, and so we don't have a jingle for wine time. But of course, we have to have wine time because everybody knows my problem. So this is a Josh. This is probably about as cheap as it gets. I think this is like $7.98 a bottle at BJ's in Attleboro, and. So no sponsor this week.
You just walk by, yeah, give me 2 of them too.
No, seriously, when I go there, when I got to get dog food treats, I go in and get like 3 cases of wine. It's all cheap wine because I know I just hammer wine it sometimes. So I like the Josh. I drink the Josh, and the Josh is nice and affordable. I'll say affordable. Right?
Oh, this is not out of left field. You're experienced here. With
This is not something that we're getting.
Okay.
We're living through this. So here's to you, and here's to those jingle coming along, and cheers, you folks. Have some wine. See, nothing wrong with that.
No, that's fine. I work every day of the week.
Nothing wrong with that. It does a little acquired taste. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
So I'm going to continue to drink my wine. And
is that your official rating?
Yeah,
nothing wrong with it.
No, I mean, right? How did it get its own category?
Nothing wrong with it.
It's a little heavy. I mean, all right, we'll go
a little heavier than some of the other ones.
We'll go backwards. It's a little heavier. It's got a complex of flavors, none that complement each other. No, usually you get like a hint of this and a hint of that.
And it finishes with a little dark chocolate at the end. Not this one.
This is the savages holding the big log, beating down your door. This is what this is. And meanwhile, you just can't stop drinking it. So here's to you, Josh, and here's to you, a lovely red wine.
Oh, you know what?
No.
Johnny Z's wife Donna recently had a birthday, so happy birthday!
I said that.
Donna, did you?
Yeah, I said that's why I couldn't go to the Jack.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you say that?
I did. I said Johnny was going to go to Jack, but she had a birthday this week.
Now he knows I don't listen to him.
Happy
birthday, Donna.
He doesn't go to all websites. He doesn't listen to me when I'm sitting next to him. So Donna, happy birthday! Like you said, you can only trust a fat chef in the kitchen. So thank you for that compliment, because I fit all of those categories. And if you ever come down to Rhode Island again, I'll buy you a bottle of Josh. It's not that bad.
No, it's fine.
You'd rather get it. Good, get it. You'd rather drink the whiskey. Get the whiskey.
No, I don't want to drink it. But
Don't
it probably
make
goes
me.
together with
Stop
this as
it.
well as everything else does in there.
Don't make me say it. I'm the king of the jungle.
Oh boy, oh boy.
All right, folks. Thanks for entertaining Charlie and I tonight. I think you did a better job than we might have done. The wine is delish, and it gets better by every swig. I want to always remind everybody because I don't know if you guys know this or not. I got OCD, and what that basically means for me is that everything in my life I relive every 7 minutes. Kind of like, that guy, what was that? Forgetful Bob or something. 2 Minute Bob. You can't remember things after 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm the opposite.
Yeah, he's like 90-second Bob. I know.
90-second Bob,
Yeah.
right. So whatever it is, short-term memory, he loses it after that time. I'm the opposite. I whatever is on my agenda, be it daily, weekly, monthly, I relive it in my head every 7 minutes. So, except I forget where I go with this now. No, I'm kidding. Reminds me of our live show. We're not there yet. Obviously, we got some faux pas here that some of them you'll never see, thank God. But we're getting there. We're going to have a live show. We're actually going to run an ad for a producer for the show. I'm hoping Johnny Z takes the job, but it's coming. And I'm gonna throw this one out in on a wing and a prayer that maybe the next episode you see from us as a duo, because we have some in the can, will be a live show, because I'm really intrigued by it. I want to do it. I think it's cool. I want to hear from our audience live. So I think that'll be cool. So I'm going to say, hey, have a good night. Thank you very much for living this dream with us. And next time we see you, it'll be live.
It's going to be crazy. Stay there.
All right. Cheers, folks.